This is such a funny concept to me. What if they all just died? I know that many of them went into the Quarter Quell with the idea to keep Katniss Everdeen alive, and if possible, Peeta as well. But what if, despite all the protection, all the necessary precautions, they were still killed? By the end of the Quarter Quell, Brutus and Enobaria are the final careers left, and Brutus is killed during the final really confusing scuffle where everyone's separated. Katniss thinks it might be Peeta, but it was Brutus. So Enobaria is the only career who manages to get out of the arena, and she's brought to the capital. But the Rebellion Squad were especially helped by the fact that Kashmir and Gloss were killed off quite early on into the games. But if they weren't killed off, and it was 4 careers, that would have complicated a lot of things. And if we go on the basis of this comment, thinking that if it was Kashmir and Gloss left alone, these two are siblings. And though they were raised by a career district and were likely taught that they might have to end up killing people they cared about, they probably never really had to face the fact that they might have to kill each other, especially since they won their games separately, and probably didn't think they'd ever have to go in again. Unfortunately, I don't actually know enough about Kashmir and Gloss as individuals to be able to even predict what they would do. Unlike with Cato and Clove, we don't see Kashmir and Gloss really at all. They're more mentioned and then they're killed. But we do know that they were incredibly angry at the capital for sending them back into the arena. And we also know that they came from District 1, which fell to the rebellion much faster than District 2 ever did. So they could have had that resentment build up in them in the arena, and they might have done a joint sacrifice, or one of them might have sacrificed themselves. With regards to the actual rebellion though, if Katniss, Peeta, Finnick, Joanna, Beetee, Wirus, if all of them are killed off, I do think that will have a little bit of an effect, namely Katniss and Peeta. I don't think it would have stopped the rebellion. I think the rebellion was so pushed forward by this point, they just needed a spark, and Katniss already had been that spark. And there was so much plotting and planning going on around the Quarter Quell before it had even started and while the games were going on that I do think the rebellion would have continued. The main roadblock I can see them coming to is unifying the districts, because that is what Katniss was incredibly good at. Her being this mythic, almost saint-like figure going into the districts and helping them in the rebellion really propelled people forward and made them want to fight. Without Katniss, and also to a degree without Peeta, this effect is lost. It could be that they might try to use Prim as the Mockingjay symbol instead. She was Katniss's sister. She was the one that Katniss volunteered for to go into the games. She was known by the capital and by the other districts because she had been interviewed heavily during Katniss's first games. And she was the symbol of light and innocence, and that could have worked in the rebellion's favour had Katniss died. I don't think it would have been as effective as having actually Katniss Everdeen be the symbol, but it could have worked. So I think the rebellion might have been pushed back a bit, but I don't think it would have stopped, and I don't think it would have slowed down the momentum that they already gathered. As for Kashmir and Gloss, I mean, congrats to them, they got a few extra days of life at least. If in this comment you meant that there's no rebellion at all whatsoever, and it was just a normal Quarter Quell, then I don't think this would have been the actual Quarter Quell. Because we know that the Quarter Quell was strategically done so that it was reaped from the pool of previous victors in order to get rid of Katniss and Peeta, mainly Katniss. So I don't think that Kashmir and Gloss would have gone back in at all.